Does low FODMAP diet really work? If I had to pick yes or no, I'd probably say no. Low FODMAP diet doesn't actually work, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone unless this is really, really your last resort. But it doesn't mean there is nothing to learn from it. Hi, I'm Kira, the Gut Princess, and I've been suffering from IBS for around 14 years. So if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you already know what low FODMAP diet is, and there is no point wasting your time and going through it again. A disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm only sharing my experience with the hope that it will help at least one person. So if a low FODMAP diet helped you, I'm so incredibly happy. Please share your experience with me. Unfortunately, my journey was different. So let's touch on advantages. I was on a hardcore, very strict low FODMAP diet for 3 months, and after that on a modified version of it for years. So why it had some kind of impact? Because everything is measured very strictly, and you're mostly only allowed to eat in very small portions. So this will inevitably have an impact. Whatever you're eating, really, low FODMAP diet doesn't have much to do with it. So one advantage is that it might help you to stick to small portions and be more disciplined. Another advantage is that low FODMAP diet can help to identify the triggers, so the so-called red category. My own very strong triggers were onion, garlic, and dairy. Uh, it's not because they only cause complete breakdown of my digestive system. They also cause severe headaches. So a potential way for you might be trying to eliminate the red food. So that's most of fruits, bread, cashews, pistachios, more sugars and legumes, and so on, and see if it actually has any impact. That's it for the advantages, I'm afraid. Now, speaking of disadvantages of low FODMAP diet, the worst one is that it might result in fear of food. This was the main outcome for me. Basically, you see food as your biggest enemy and you're terrified of touching anything. You're completely overwhelmed and you need to check your long list and often even take a measurement before you touch anything. This creates extra anxiety on top of the existing one, probably, and puts more pressure on your poor gut that's already barely functioning. Well, otherwise you probably wouldn't be looking at low FODMAP diet to begin with. Another massive disadvantage is that you might be relying heavily on so-called green category or safe food, which actually might be your trigger. For example, meat and poultry are considered to be very low in FODMAPs, meaning you're allowed to eat more of those. So for me personally, one of the triggers turned out to be meat. But of course, I didn't know that at the time. So I was stuffing myself with chicken, all bloated, crying, and miserable as I was following my nutritionist guidelines. The worst part is that your doctor might be telling you things. It takes time, keep trying, be disciplined. Well, in fact, a low FODMAP diet is simply not for you. And what you're doing, you're continuing to hurt yourself. No, touching on painful comeback. Say you pulled through, done a few months of low FODMAP diet. Now it's time to modify and start reintroducing some foods. And even if it's been super efficient for you, you can only stay it for a very short time. The thing is, with a very sensitive gut, you may have lost the ability to digest some food just because your system isn't used to them anymore. For me, it took a year to be able to eat an avocado again. And not being able to eat an avocado is kind of a deal breaker when it comes to brunch because you already can have 80% of the products. And the last one, being on low FODMAP diet will massively disrupt your social life. And this is a very important aspect for people with severe IBS. Not being able to eat, say, a croissant with coffee or a brunch, I'm not even talking about a proper dinner or night out, might have a very bad impact on your mental health because it comes on top of existing issues such as constant pain, anxiety, possibly constipation, or diarrhea. So, does low FODMAP diet work? No, it doesn't, and based on my experience only, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you've tried everything else, well, there is no much to lose, is there? I'm wishing you the best luck, and I'm hoping that you will feel better. If you found this video useful, please consider liking it. Please consider subscribing. This way I will know that this blog is worth continuing. And thank you so much for watching.